Hello,
and welcome to Run With A View.
it's a very special episode of
Mm.
Run With a View.
It is, as you can see, we are in the same
The
place.
same room,
Yeah,
the
we are
same
not.
building, the same house. Look,
We are
I
not
can
cities
touch him.
apart. Yeah, I poke him.
He can poke me in the armpit. Ow, stop
Yeah,
poking me in the armpit.
right.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
it's also a special episode
yeah,
because
mm.
it's my birthday,
Yeah. It is.
or it was the other day,
Yeah.
and we decided to celebrate it
So we are going to
by,
do, yeah,
well, we
Stu's
got
favourite movie.
my all-time favorite film. I'm Stu.
And I'm Alan.
Alan, what in the name of Great Caesar's Ghost is today's film?
It is Superman.
Casablanca.
Richard Donner's Superman, 1978.
1978, not the 2025 version because I've only
No.
seen that once and I can't really do an episode on a film I've only seen once.
Exactly. So
So
this is your all-time
it,
favorite movie. It's your number one,
it's my number one,
and it has been for quite some decades.
and I've got the T-shirt to prove it.
Yeah, indeed, and multiple versions, as as we can see. So,
Yes, we've got.
yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, well,
run through them.
I'm
What
gonna
have we
run. I'm
got
gonna
here?
throw one in a minute.
We've got quite a
We've got
collection.
Blu-rays. We've got the concept album, the
Yeah.
soundtrack album.
Yeah.
We've got the nice picture of a framed picture Christopher Reeve that a friend gave me for a present years ago. And we've got the VHS. More about that in a minute.
Yes. Yeah.
But before we do that,
Yes.
Alan, you go first. Tell us
Okay.
about your earliest experiences with Superman the movie.
Right. Well, I mean, this was. I did actually see it on video before it was on TV because it was one of the first videos that we rented from 20th Century Video Store in Barking. So yeah, I remember sort of seeing that on the shelf. Superman, can we see a Superman? So yeah, I do remember seeing it on VHS first.
And how old were you?
Ooh, well, I mean, this would have been in the early 80s. So yeah, I'd have been under 10. So I do remember seeing it, but then obviously I do remember it being on TV and then recording it off of TV. But I do remember it being at the video store, and I think me and my brother were getting into an argument over. I can't remember what he wanted to watch, but I was Superman, and then Mum and Dad agreed with me that it was the better movie to watch that night. So yeah, I felt very successful.
Well, obviously, I agree.
One over my brother.
Obviously, well, obviously, I agree with. I have to disagree with your brother as well on that one. I'm pretty sure that this is the first film I ever went to see.
Yeah, yeah. It was this was your first cinema viewing, was it?
Well, yeah, to the best of my recollection, and I checked this with my mum.
Yeah.
So it's the best of her recollection as well.
Okay.
That she took me to see it at probably like the ABC cinema in Chatham in 1978 or 9, so probably like 3 or 4 years old, with my three big brothers. Then a few years later, it came out in VHS, like you said, and we rented it from our local video shop.
Yeah.
Which was probably Ventura Video in Southwold Ferrers.
Wow.
Southwold Ferrers represent. And this is that very video cassette. Now have a look at this. Warner Home Video rental, it says there in the corner.
Yeah. Show them how thick VHS is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do some damage with that.
It is a book. Yeah.
That's like it's got, and now this is a rental, as I say, from the video shop. And it's a bit knackered now, obviously, because it's from 1981. This is older than probably most of our viewers. But as you can see, this is not your generic blockbuster video tape with the title of the film written down the side. No, this is an actual. They let you take the cassette case home as well in those days.
Yeah.
Now the reason I've still got this is we never took it back to the shop. What happened was
late return fees.
Well, we kept it from the shop so long that the late fees accrued to the point where they equaled the value of the tape.
Wow.
The retail value of the tape, which at that time was about 70 quid.
Wow.
And that's 1981 70 quid, not 2026 70 quid. 70 quid now is like, and be out for one in London. Then that was quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
This is the way I remember the story. But as I've thought about it over the years, I can actually imagine that my mum or whoever probably tried to take the tape back to the shop a few times, but saw the sort of look of despair on my little face and just, that kind of like,
don't take it back. I need it, mummy.
Yeah, exactly. So I do the face, he does the
Yeah,
voice. And she just couldn't bring herself to do it. That's kind of the
yeah.
way I've wondered how it might have been.
Mm.
But anyway, my nan eventually coughed up the cash and bought me the tape, and we
Right.
got to keep it. So it's one of my most prized possessions.
Mm.
We are
Mm.
structuring this episode a little bit differently
Yeah,
to how we normally do it.
it looks different.
It looked well, yeah, not just in terms of the visual schema,
Yeah.
but also that's the actual structure of the episode. We're going to I've made a list
Hmm.
because I love making lists.
He
That wasn't in
does.
shot, was it? I made a list.
Yeah.
It's a list of my 12 favorite things
Hmm.
about Superman the movie.
Yeah.
I hope I've covered most of the important stuff.
Hmm.
But as I've just finished watching the film,
Hmm.
rewatching it, and you rewatched it
I
recently this
watched it
week.
during the week.
We
Yeah.
both. Oh, by the way, we both watched been watching the original theatrical cut
Yes.
for
Yeah.
this. I mean, I've seen
Hmm.
all three versions. I think
Exactly.
there's three versions
Hmm.
available. We've got the over there. You got the this box set of all the five films has got
Hmm.
the theatrical cut. This one here has got the 2000 restoration cut
Yeah.
and the in 3 hour international cut, which I watched so you don't have to. So,
Mm.
are we ready?
Yeah.
Then
Let's
let's
go.
begin.
Let's go.
Thing one.
Yeah.
Uh, the opening credits and
Hmm.
the main theme music. Logical place to
Yeah.
start.
Exactly.
Uh, I was watching it a couple of hours
Oh,
ago. It's still
John Williams
it's
score
still it still
is
sets
phenomenal.
it still sets my heart aflutter.
Mm.
No matter how many times I've watched it, partly because it's awesome and I never want it to
Hmm.
end,
Yeah.
and the music would be one of my Desert Island discs.
Yeah.
Uh, and partly because it just makes me think, yeah, I'm about to watch Superman. That VH tape, incidentally, that VHS tape, it does still just about play, or it did last time we had a VCR.
Mm.
But the first sort of 10 minutes and the opening credits
Mm.
of the tape are a bit dodgy because because as a kid I used to play the opening credits over and over again,
Yeah.
and sometimes not even watch the rest of the movie.
Wow.
Um, but the I was watching it today, and I was sort of looking at the cast coming, all the cast names, all
Mm.
through the space and
Yeah.
pulls the camera and away from the
Mm.
camera, and like I was looking at, it, I was thinking, Richard Donner, yeah, he's dead. Marlon
Mm.
Brando, yeah, yeah, he's dead. Christopher, yeah, he's dead.
Dead.
Margot Kidder, she's dead.
Dead.
Jackie Cooper, he's dead. Terrence Stamp, he's dead. Susanna York. Is anyone from that cast still alive?
I know.
I think maybe Mark McClure, Jimmy Olsen, he's maybe the only one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like watching an episode of Dad's Army. It's like,
No.
yeah, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Yeah.
One thing I wouldn't want to ask about the opening credits
Yeah.
to you is how do you feel about the very opening scene where you have the black and white
Little
curtain
framing
opening
device. Yeah.
and the black and white cartoon comic and obviously the pages turning.
And the
How do
voice and
you
the
feel
child's
that?
voice,
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
liberty and
Yeah, a
truth.
lot of people don't mention about that, and I quite like that. I kind of, in some ways, I feel ashamed about I forgot about it when I
What do you
watched
like? What
it.
do you like about it?
I just like the fact that it's like we're saying this is a proper homage to comics. You know,
Mm.
you've got to remember this is 1978, guys. This is like way before Marvel and everybody was kicking off
Yeah.
about superhero
This was the
movies.
first big budget.
Big
There've
first
been
big,
serials and things
yeah,
before and cartoons and
exactly.
TV shows.
Way
The
before
first thing.
Batman, way
Yeah.
before anything
X-Men,
of the,
Spider-Man,
yeah,
all that
exactly.
come before.
This was the first proper production
Yeah,
movie of a comic book hero.
that wasn't cheap and didn't take the Mickey, basically.
Exactly.
Or too
And,
much.
you know, to be fair, you couldn't get any bigger than Superman. What I really like about it is that it's black and white as well.
The opening sequence, yeah.
It really reverts back to the 1930s when the comic book started. It was
Well, the date comes up. It's June
Yeah.
1938. The date comes
Yeah.
up. It's the first thing that comes
So
up, pretty
you've got
much.
that really strong connection with the original comic book, that it is for children, and you know that you are about to watch something that is pure fantasy.
Mm.
Um,
But at the end of that sort of sequence, the camera sort of goes up past the Daily Planet and into space,
Nice.
into the night sky.
Nice.
And you've got these, and I know, and of course on the VHS tape I would never notice
No,
it
no,
because it's
exactly.
full screen.
Yeah.
But when you watch it in widescreen, the full
Yeah.
225, 235 to 1, whatever it is,
Yeah.
then you see the curtains, the cinema screen curtains on either side of the little screen. And then the main credits of the film, the kind of
Exactly.
whooshing,
Blue,
flying
yeah,
credits, blue flying credits,
yeah,
and the music, the drum
green
comes in,
electric
drums come in.
blue credits just flying straight out at you. And
But the first credit comes out, it literally comes out of the middle and it
Mm.
blows the curtains aside
That's it.
as it like that.
And you love
And
the
then
effects.
what-
And that's
yeah,
what I
the
really
down-
like about this. Is that each credit that comes through, you get this whoosh
Like a
down
flying
and it all
past you.
comes through. While all the John
The
Williams'
music, oh,
score
it's
is just absolutely
just
fabulous.
beautifully
And you've
sonically
got
choreographed, isn't it?
background images of deep space as well.
Yeah,
So you've got this kind of, so
flying through space.
we're going through space to get to
The Krypton.
Krypton.
My second favorite thing
Yeah.
about a Superman the movie is, as the opening credits tells us, it was photographed by Jeffrey Unsworth. It doesn't say
Mm.
director of photography; it says
Mm.
photographed by Jeffrey Unsworth,
Yeah.
who, and the film was dedicated to his memories. I think he
Yeah.
died
He died.
while it was in post production. I think,
Yeah.
or he was
It
already
was in
working on.
post.
He
Yeah.
was working on Roman Polanski's
Yeah.
film of Tess of the D'Urbervilles, I think, and I think he died during the shooting of that. I think,
Yeah.
if I remember rightly. But he was, yeah, and he was a beloved.
Mm.
He shot some real. I mean, he shot 2001. He
Yes.
shot Cabaret,
Yeah.
Murder in the
Uh-huh.
Orient Express. I think the Sidney Lumet version.
Yeah.
His photography on Superman is just absolutely
It's
gorgeous.
brilliant.
It's lush. It's
Mm.
soft. It's got a sort of Vaseline on the lens.
Obviously, it's a film of the 1970s, but it was also kind of made to look like the 1950s, especially
The
the
whole thing, do you think, or particular parts of it?
I feel the whole thing because you get used to it as it goes through. Because it's, I mean, the film is what, 2 hours,
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes at
Mhm.
least. And obviously it's set into very three separate sessions. You've got Krypton, the disruption of
Maybe
Krypton,
four.
then you've got obviously Clark arriving on planet Earth.
Look at the
Um,
Smallville stuff. Yeah.
Smallville stuff, which there you really see it because the coloration's really different. It's very warm, it's very yellowy.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where you get that kind of, like you said, that kind of Vaseline look.
Yeah.
And then when you come into the New York, the
Metropolis. Yeah.
Metropolis sort of setting,
I feel like
um, it feels sharper, but it actually isn't. It doesn't seem as sharp.
Mm.
So it kind of, you get that sense that it's um, almost like a different shot format, but it really isn't. It's still quite
There's a
soft.
unity to it, isn't there?
Yeah,
Which is something I'm going to come back to, a theme I'm going to
yeah.
come back to later. But I think the light sources I noticed,
Mm,
they're very, when you see them on screen, like a lamp or a lampshade or something, they're very light sources and bright colors, like white t-shirts
mm,
or the costume or
yeah.
anything. They all sort of they have a glow to them, like
Well, yeah. I mean, you're talking about the Krypton
the whole
scene,
thing.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I saw it in all of it. I mean, no, well, the costumes, the
Costumes are
costumes they wear
really
on
good.
Krypton are
Yeah,
like they're made of a special material that the light reflects off of and make it.
exactly. Which
Yeah, that's
all cyclists are very aware of these days.
yeah, like a whole suit made of
Yeah,
those bits,
yeah, yeah.
basically, and white. Just
Exactly.
like
Kind of weird when you see them offset, they just like a grey little mouse. But
yeah,
then yeah,
yeah.
with the light on, with up.
But that glow, that when
Mm,
you see the light sources, etc.,
yeah.
it's almost like it gives it sort of a sense of an alien presence or the light of God or
Yeah.
something like that. It gives it a sort of
Well, this is what I meant.
ethereal quality, doesn't
It
it?
feels very. You do get this very strong coloration differences because obviously with Krypton it's very harsh lighting. You get the very bright
All
light, the
white,
very
white on
red
white, and
light
yeah.
when the Krypton's destroying itself. Um,
Oh yeah, it
and
looks like
then
hell at the end,
yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah.
But then once he reaches Smallville, it's all very yellow. It's very warm,
Browns,
browns, very very homely
Rockwell
and
kind of
yeah, sort of farmy
alleyway.
sort of tones. Um, and it very much suits that. I love the shooting, particularly towards the end of that scene. Is obviously when he finds the green script,
Which is a big
yeah.
bright. What it look
But the
nothing looks more
coloration
alien
of
than
that
that, does it?
particular scene, because obviously it's quite dark
Yeah,
when
it's
he
nice
wakes
bright
up,
out early morning.
and the sunrise of that is it's
Oh,
absolutely
it's out the
beautiful. It's
window, isn't it?
so
Yeah.
well shot. Coloration of that is just beautiful. It really is nice. You
Oh,
know
when she
what I
put
mean when you get to see it.
when she puts the
Yeah.
cereal box in the window, the product, the egregious product
It's
placement,
just,
that,
just
but you're not looking at that because you're
no.
Cheerios, but you're not looking at that because you're looking out the window at the
Yeah.
dog running up to the up the grass through the grass,
Yeah.
I mean, through the corn or whatever. Oh, it's beautiful.
Then you get that all important first shot of Superman flying through
The Fortress of Solitude, the first time
Solitude.
we see the full-grown Superman in the
And
costume,
it
yeah,
does look absolutely brilliant. Even
flawless.
by yeah, it is flawless, and even by today's standards,
Yeah.
you know it's on wires.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's all in camera. There's
it's
no
all in
trick
camera,
photography in that.
and what's just fantastic about that is Christopher Reeve, because obviously he had to build himself up
Mm.
to look the part of Superman, but because he did so much work, and it was with
Dave Prowse,
yeah, who played
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader,
All right, mate.
because we
Darth
know him
Vader.
from the West
Darth
Country,
Sider.
which is where I currently reside.
That's right. That's right.
Uh,
So
but
show me haven't figured out the accent yet.
no, no, exactly. Um, but because he built himself up so much to look the part of Superman, where he's on the wires, he's actually able to turn and
Yeah,
twist his
it
body
was
and
very
can with the
graceful.
rights, and he makes it look so graceful
I
and
think he was a
so
pilot as well,
elegant.
wasn't he? Like I think
Yeah,
he
he,
was
he was
a
actually,
metal
he
pilot.
he said, "Oh yeah, when I said I should pitch."
And Yor
Sorry,
and all
turn
this.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and he really does make it look amazing. And you might be thinking, well, how can you not see the wires? And it's really simple camera tricks. It's just basic sort of stuff. So the wires were coated with basically a coating that sort of like matted out light. So if you shine light on the cables and the wires themselves, you wouldn't see anything because it just matte the
No.
light. You just wouldn't see it reflected. So it's completely the opposite of the Kryptonians
Yeah, exactly
sort of
opposite of
like
his things. Yeah.
their costumes.
They use a variety
Mm.
of tricks. Well, a
Yeah,
variety of techniques, if you'd say,
yeah.
to achieve the flying
There is
effect.
even stuff in post production
Yeah,
as
there's
well.
some
Yeah.
a lot of it,
So,
a lot of where possible they use just him on wires
mhm.
and for takeoffs and landings and stuff. Obviously, other times they'll use composite blue screen, which
Mm.
is why in the old version of the film, before it was
Yeah.
sort of digitally remastered in
Mm.
2000 or whatever, Superman's costume looked a little bit green because he was against the
Yeah.
blue screen. Yeah, the blue bits were a bit green in that
Yeah.
version, in that old
That's why
version.
you see them in green screens now when you watch like
Yeah,
Star Wars
they moved
movies
on.
and
The
stuff like
industry
that.
moved on to green screen, didn't
Green
they? But
screens. But yeah, back in the day it was blue screens.
and
So
then they
yeah.
used what was it? They used just regular sort of like optical. What was it? They I think they created a special thing. What's the guy's name? Zoran Perisic, I think is his
Oh
name.
yeah.
He created a
Mm.
special thing called Zoptics.
Six. Yeah. Optics.
Zoran's optics, I suppose, and
Yeah.
yeah, which I don't know exactly how it worked, but so these are a variety of techniques to achieve the
Mm.
flying.
I think it got award, didn't it? Win an
I think
Oscar?
he got a special Oscar for
Special Oscar
just
for
for the visual for the
yeah,
flying effects. I
exactly.
think.
That's just how groundbreaking this was. They actually came up with a new bloody Oscar for it.
Yeah.
So,
My third favorite
yeah.
thing about Superman the movie
Mhm.
is the script.
Mm.
Now it's credited to four different now the film
Yeah,
went
multiple writers.
well five writers really,
Yeah,
but it went through a
multiple.
lot of
Yeah,
different iterations because the film was in
rewrites. Oh,
pre-production for a
yeah.
number of years. I
Mhm.
think it was first conceived in about 1973,
Yes.
and 5 years later it finally
Oh,
went
yeah.
out. So the final script really was written by Tom Mankiewicz, I
Mm.
think, who's not even credited as a writer, he's credited as
Yeah.
creative consultant. But when
Yeah.
Richard Donner came on as director, he
Mhm.
brought Tom Mankiewicz on to
Yeah.
take this mess of a script and bash it into
Yeah.
something. He basically rewrote it, I think, from the ground up, I
Mhm.
think. Like the way the cinematography kind of adapts to the coloration, and I was saying just now about adapting to the different environments.
Yeah.
The dialogue changes as well
Mm.
according to like the setting and the characters. So
Yeah.
on like it's sort of stately and verbose on Krypton, and
Mm.
like where and in fact the Krypton scenes, just from those scenes and just from Brando's opening speech, is sort of
Mm.
in court where he's condemning the three super criminals led by the late great Terence Stamp.
Yeah.
He I learned a lot as a kid, a little kid. I learned a lot of new words.
Yeah.
I learned indictment,
Yeah.
sedition,
Mhm.
aberration, and insidious.
Mm.
Then when you get to Smallville, the dialogue is more sort of homely and trite and gee
Yes.
whiz and gosh, golly, Jonathan, and all this kind
Mm.
of thing. Then by the time you get to Metropolis, it's all sardonic and
Yeah.
witty, and all these. And that scene that introduces Clark Kent and Lois Lane in the Daily Planet,
Yeah.
in Perry White's office, and Jimmy Olsen, they're all
Mm.
introduced really. All these jokes and snappy patter and badinage, it went completely over my head as a kid.
Mm.
When I came back and watched it again as an adult,
Mm.
that scene in particular, the film as a whole, I loved again. I sort of loved it anew. But that scene in particular, the Metropolis, the Daily Planet scenes in
Yeah.
particular, I watched those with very new eyes. It was like,
Mm.
oh, I get it now. I get why grown-ups like this movie as well as kids. It's like one of my favorite lines in the movie is, or exchanges, I should say, is
Mm.
when Lois is trying to sell her story to Perry White,
Mm.
because because the Daily Planet, they've sort of done it up like they sort of reimagine, like bringing Superman into the modern world. That's kind of
Yes.
the idea,
Yeah.
and the modern world of the 1970s, but still.
Mm.
So they're sort of updating the Daily Planet into this, like it's a sort of tabloid, cheap
Well, yeah,
tabloid. So
exactly. Yeah.
so she's doing like stories about, oh, I've got the sex maniac story, and I've got
Yeah.
great work on the sewage scandal, Kent.
Well, yeah.
He always gets
Yeah.
the shit jobs. But there's this great bit of like where Lois Lane says, she's trying to sell this story to Perry White, and she says it's got everything. It's got sex, it's got violence, it's got the ethnic angle. Perry White says, yeah, so does the lady wrestler with a foreign accent.
Get
Yeah.
more and more bits out of these movies, even though you love them. You're coming back to them because you love them, but
Mm.
you get this re-energized. Oh, I'd never noticed that before. Oh, that makes so much sense. That connects with this. This
Mm.
is yeah.
I mean, the structure of the script is, I guess it's, I was sort of thinking about, is it, I was
Mm,
thinking about earlier, is it's not really a three-act structure. It's more like probably four or five acts because it's got, you got like,
yeah.
because it's an origin, because it's like, because Superman is like, it's like a, it's like a biopic
Mm.
about a person who isn't real.
Yeah, and of course, when Luther comes into the fray of the movie as well, then it almost changes again. So
I guess it becomes, there's still, you've still got a bit of the snappy pattern, I think,
mm,
with the way he talks with his showboats his total nincompoops, his
yeah,
henchmen
yeah,
and henchwomen. But when he actually when his plan starts to come to fruition, everything he's interacting with Superman, then the dialogue gets
well,
more sort of comic booky, like you never get away with this, Luthor kind of
exactly.
thing. It's done
Yeah,
in a good way, but
it
it's more
is.
fun. It's more
Yeah,
believable, I
and it
guess, because
is
that's right.
interesting. Yeah, going, you just mentioned it there, being comic booky,
Mm.
just to in some ways remind the audience, hey, this is all based upon a comic book.
I guess it's celebrating it. It's celebrating
Yeah,
its sort of trashy, pulpy
yeah,
origins rather than
exactly.
being just
Yeah,
unashamed of it.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, it's a comic book movie.
yeah.
Fight me. The fourth
Mm,
thing, my fourth favorite thing,
yeah.
is the production design, the sets and design and everything by John Barry, not the
Yes.
composer John Barry,
No,
the
no, no,
production
exactly.
designer John Barry, who I think he also did he do Star Wars as well? I think he did.
I think he did.
Yeah. Uh, which then if you look at Krypton and the
Mm,
sort of design of that, some of the sort of sets in that look a lot like something you might see on the Death Star. Like, I think I
mm,
like the scene where Jor-El and Lara are
mm.
sending the baby off. There's those sort of big pillars behind them
Very much
with the
so,
things.
yeah.
It looks like something on the Death Star, doesn't it?
Mm.
But I love how he has made Krypton look. He's put these elements in to make it look like a genuinely alien civilization,
Exactly.
even though it's an alien civilization entirely populated by the English upper classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and surely the Kryptonians should be. Well, and the Kryptonians, the English characters, English actors tend to be the villains in Hollywood movies, don't they? But
Very much
in
so,
this, they're
yeah.
just the idiots who
Hmm.
don't listen to the one American who's putting on an
Yeah.
English accent saying, "Our planet's going to fall into the sun,
Yeah.
you Wally."
The dome
Oh, the
right at the
big
very,
dome
very
in the
dome at the
yeah,
beginning, that is just
which
absolutely
is a sort of
phenomenal.
courtroom come
Mm.
prison come whatever. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the hula hoops. They love their hula hoops in
Hoops.
Krypton. They're full of
Yeah.
hula hoop things. I do like Lex Luthor's Bond villain lair,
Yes.
where he's sort
Yeah.
of dug out of.
Kind of
It's like a
underground hotel.
well, it's like an underground. Well, it's like an old part of the station that sort of.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a museum.
I mean, but he's done it up a tree. It's a sort of you look. I look at that. I look at Lex. I'd love to live in Lex Luthor's lair. It's always
Yeah.
the swimming pool with the bricked up things where the train tracks used to be,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the
No,
library.
I must, yeah, I must admit, I always yeah, that would be an amazing place to live. The other thing as well, what I really enjoyed was, again, you mentioned it a bit earlier about the feel of the 70s and the Daily Planet. So how much glass there was, because again,
Yeah,
that was a big thing in the 70s and actually the early 80s was just they just started using
for
glass
walls.
everywhere for
Yeah,
walls. Yeah, and it just used to annoy me though having glass everywhere because then you never knew if there was a doorway there or if that was a wall or a door or if until you walked into it.
the fifth.
Yeah,
My
I was about to say what's number
my
five?
number five
Mm.
is well, it's the costume. The
Yes.
Superman. I mean, costuming is well,
Oh.
obviously we talked about the costuming on Krypton, which is great.
Mm.
Everyone on Metropolis pretty much wears big lapels and interesting
Hmm.
hair because it's the 70s. Blair's.
Hmm.
Uh, but Superman's costume, as designed by Yvonne Blake,
Yes.
uh, it's the definitive Superman costume for me, Clive.
Yeah.
I think it may look a bit naff now in this era of
Yeah.
muted colours and raised patterns, giving that 3D effect, which
And
you've had.
face fake bodysuits and
Yeah,
yeah.
all that kind of thing, the kind of
Yeah.
the muscle suits and all that.
Mm.
But this Superman, he does look
Oh,
like he
look at
steps.
him. Look at him.
He looks like he steps straight out of a comic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, visual aids. Yeah,
Yeah.
look, see what I mean? That's muted colours there actually on that picture, so
Yeah.
that's kind of undoing my argument. But
Yeah.
he looks like he's wearing this Superman Returns costume, but it's
Yeah.
brighter than that in the movie.
It was just it's so simple, but a lot of people don't realize is that, yeah, just the hair, the change in the hairstyle as well between Clark and Superman. A lot of people don't realize, but the parting's on the opposite side. So one
Yeah,
side is Clark Kent, the other
yeah.
side is Superman.
Superman,
Yeah.
Clark Kent.
Kent. Yeah,
Is that right?
exactly. And
Which I
what a lot
realise
of
the
people don't
opposite.
realise is it was actually a wig.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
they were
thought he painted
wigs.
his hair black.
And
He's
they did.
blonde, wasn't he, Christopher?
Yeah,
Or very light brown,
it
maybe.
was light brown. But yeah, they were wigs. So to make it easier, he actually wore
I
wigs
suppose it's easier
for
than just dyeing your hair all the bloody time, maybe.
exactly.
Yeah,
And you
it's a
think of
bit
like
easier to wash.
styling the hair.
Yeah.
So it was actually wigs. That's why the curl for Superman was just always in the
Oh, because
right
that must have
place.
been a bit of a pain in the arse, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
and that's also why in Superman 3, when you see him, the evil Superman, he
Mm.
looks so different because it is more much of his natural color hair.
Uh,
People almost had an idea of what Superman should look like before the
well, it
movie
was
came
based. That
out.
was based on the comics, though,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I mean,
exactly.
people thought
No,
he needs to be tall, he needs to be buff, he needs to be handsome,
yeah.
and that's why they probably considered a lot of. I mean, I think Stallone was considered for the role at one
Oh,
point,
exactly.
Schwarzenegger,
Loads, yeah, loads of
because of their
people. So yeah,
physique, obviously,
yeah,
not because they're right for the part, because neither of them.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, so many people got, called up for it. I mean, even oh God,
Oh, everybody.
everybody. I mean,
Dustin Hoffman,
but yeah,
Robert
exactly.
Redford, Paul
Paul
Newman, and
Newman,
then
yeah, Norman, yeah,
I
need
mean,
to
who
turn
was
it
I think
down
50 at
flatly.
the time.
Yeah, the thing about that S is it's so well known. I mean,
Well,
we
yeah,
look at it, we think of it now, and we think, oh God, it is so Superman.
yeah,
But even then,
yeah. Even then,
it
it
was
was. Yeah,
so Superman.
it's an American icon, as they say.
Yeah,
It's as recognizable as Coca-Cola logo
mm,
or something like that. You know, it's
exactly.
other colas are available. My sixth favorite thing is the way the film was directed by
Mm,
Richard Donner.
yes.
Uh, the late great Richard Donner. He
Yeah.
was I, having watched the making of DVD extras a few times now over the
Mm,
years, I've
yeah.
got the sense of him just being when he got the job, he just turned into this big kid
Yes.
and just absolutely loved what he
Mm,
was doing and just like because he's directed a lot of films that he did Lethal Weapon films, he did The Omen, he
yeah.
did Lady Hawk, he did The Goonies, he did
Hmm.
all loads and loads of films. He was never a big sort of auteur sort of director. He wasn't a
No,
big. He wasn't. I was saying.
you didn't realize you were watching a Donna movie, even though you were.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
It's not sort of got. He's not got sort of like got that quite that kind of recognition, if you like. But
Mm,
anyway, in this one,
mm,
yeah, he's a big kid who's got the run of the entire playground.
yeah.
Um, at least until the producers turned up and
And
told him off for
screwed
taking.
him over.
Well, I mean, the film went over budget and way over schedule. I think it was. I
Mm.
don't know. I think how long it
But
was
that
delayed.
wasn't easy because I mean they were doing Superman 1 and 2
They were
back to
making one and
back.
two back to back,
Yeah,
and I think
which
they got as far as they got as far as finishing the first one
um
and having shot quite a lot of the
it
second
was
one,
what 90, almost 90% of the second.
70%, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about 70 to 90%
like
of the
about
second movie
two-thirds,
done.
three-quarters of it, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they decided, but I think basically it was like, well, let's get the first one out the door,
Yeah,
see how
because
that
they
does.
want to see how well it does and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was going to sort of like how successful was number two going to be.
But I think by that point, and of course it was a massive hit. I mean, the
Hmm.
film's a huge hit, and so two did get finished, and obviously
Hmm.
many more. But the trouble was, I think his relationship with the producers, the
Oh
Alexander
yeah,
and Ilya Sorkind and Pierre Spengler, I think they was so like threadbare by
uh,
that point that
yeah,
they were just so
sick at the sight of each other and
yeah.
the
So they basically
constant changes and
yeah.
alterations and
And
oh
they basically fired him from finishing
yeah,
part two, and they brought Richard Lester in. That's a shame, but despite all that,
mm,
I think Richard Donner got the last laugh because the finished
yes, yeah,
film, in all well in the two, not so much the 3 hour cut, but that's a different beast. But in both the
mm,
sort of set, the original version and the 2000 version,
mm,
I think he's got this balance, really good balance of all these different tones and settings, which we've been
yes,
talking about. You know, uh, the different these very different tones which is done by which is achieved in the writing, achieved in the photography,
hmm,
achieved in the design. And it really shouldn't work. You got okay, so there's a bit on an alien planet that's about to blow up. Then they're in Kansas,
mm,
and he's like a hick kid who sort of leaves home, and then he's a reporter in Metropolis, and then he's a superhero.
hmm,
Like if you told someone to write a script based on that, you'd tell them to sod off. I
yeah,
mean, he puts in these very sort of clear breaks between from one type of storytelling to another. So you've got the end of Krypton
hmm,
is a devastating. It's like a disaster movie. It's like
well
Towering
yeah,
Inferno earthquake kind of thing.
hmm,
It's very brutal.
Oh
The way that it's
yeah,
done, it's hard to watch. I mean,
yeah.
it's quite, you see people die. I mean, not blood and guts, but you
That's
see
yeah,
people fall into their deaths, and
yeah.
it's quite
Comes.
horrifying. And then you got the sort of Star of Bethlehem, as he's he's in his little baby Superman in his spaceship flying to Earth, and then he crash lands into Kansas like a, and it's like a big,
Yeah.
that's like punctuating. Okay, we're in a new world now. This is
Mhm.
like, and then as we said before, fully grown Superman in his costume flying in towards
Yeah.
the camera. Big moment. This is a
Hmm.
new movie. I think it's almost exactly halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Um, and then at the end,
Mm.
you've got the earthquakes have all gone off and the disaster, and Lex Luthor's set off the bomb and
Hmm.
the nuclear missile, and uh, Superman finds Lois Lane's dead body
Mm.
after the earthquake.
Oh,
She's been crushed to death and buried alive,
yeah.
which can't be a nice way to go.
No.
Um,
His emotion there. That is
it's
just incredible.
well, I mean, it's well, not just the performance, but I mean, we'll talk about the performance later
Yeah.
on down
Yeah.
the road. But yeah, but I mean that too. But I mean, it's like the way it's all the way it's all shot, the sort of the you can sort of see the emotional violence of it, of what it's done, what's happened. It's like
Mm.
you can sort of like you sort of see him like flying around the corner looking for her, and he sees her, and sort of like, and the look in his eyes is just.
Yeah. That shock horror realization.
And then I think it's just does it have a crash zoom of his supervision onto? Maybe I'm imagining that. I might be, maybe it just feels like a
Kind
crash zoom
it
effect.
kind of feels that way because he's flying and then he notices the red
Yeah,
car, and yeah,
sort of
it kind
his
of
point of
does
view, isn't it, as
zoom.
he's flying
Yeah,
past it?
it's
Yeah,
whether or not it's a zoom in shot or if it's his supervision.
yeah,
So
it could be,
I'm
yeah,
not sure about
yeah.
that. I know where you're coming from on that.
But it's just, but it doesn't like. So first of all, they've killed someone off,
Mm,
and okay, if you've seen the film, it.
yeah, yeah, what
Death
happens
isn't
next?
permanent. Death isn't necessarily fatal,
Mm,
but uh, still in that moment,
mm,
for all we know, if you're watching the film for the first time, oh shit,
yeah,
they've killed off Lois Lane.
yeah,
What's going
exactly.
to happen now?
Yeah.
It's total like, and the movie really, or the scene, they really sit with it with that
Mm.
moment, and he literally sits with her body, and it sort of cuts these
Well,
or
it
fades
first
these different
pulls the
angles.
car out
Yeah,
of
and
the
he pulled the body
crater
out and lays it gently on the
and
ground,
down, and he kisses her.
and the
Yeah,
music sort of goes, sort of just backs, the music backs away quietly.
yeah,
The camera sort of changes to his just of him sort of just like kneeling down by a body and just like, and you're sitting there like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
you
What's
do.
gonna happen?
And then the scream
And then he
of the
just
car.
like turns to turns his head to the sky, and, it's not the kind of no.
Yeah,
It's not a no. It's a scream. It's a
yeah.
like he's not
It's
swearing, but it's
so
like,
visceral.
and it's violent, and he
Mm.
flies shoots up into the sky, and the thunder that starts a storm, and
Oh,
it's the calm before the storm, and
yeah.
all that. Um,
And then, of course, he gets a warning from his father: cannot change human
oh
events.
well, all that, yeah, it's
Yeah.
all kind of like, and the theme of the film really comes home to roost then, doesn't it?
Mm.
Or that theme of he shouldn't interfere with human history, and
History.
it's like, well, why did you send me here then,
Yeah.
Dad? I mean, it's right, because
Yeah.
his Earth dad sort of said, well, you're kind of the opposite, and
Mm.
but Richard Donner really knows how to punctuate a movie with big moments like
Yeah.
these. Is the point I'm making, and it's a big journey, as I say,
Yeah.
through lots of different environments and moods. You got these the sort of Krypton scenes are kind of stilted and static, and they kind of feel like a Stanley Kubrick film. The
Yeah.
the rustic Smallville scenes feel like a John Ford film.
Yeah.
The busy, chatty Daily Planet scenes feel like Howard Hawks,
Yeah.
and the action sequences towards the end they feel
Mm.
like Steven
And
Spielberg or like a disaster movie. He sort of synthesizes all
mm,
these other directors' styles.
yes. Glenn Ford's the lovely contradiction between the two dads.
Mm.
I really enjoy it. That
The
lovely
distant dad and the
scene,
close dad,
the distant dad and the close dad.
literally. Yeah.
The close dad, obviously, John Ford,
Glenford.
Glenn Ford.
So
Sorry,
it's because I said John Ford
I
just
know,
now.
exactly. It's
At
stuck in
least
my
Ford's
brain.
that Harrison
Yeah,
Ford's not in it. It'd be really
yeah.
confused.
But yeah, Glenn Ford, I mean, brilliant actor anyway.
Mm.
But that lovely scene where they're walking
Up the path. Yeah.
up the path just before the point where he has a heart attack,
Yeah.
um,
I do
and
know
he's
one
he's
thing. Yeah.
trying to give that really nice, heartful warmth advice any father would be giving their
Mm.
son, and he does it so it's so natural. Puts his arm around it.
Yeah.
He's struggling for the right kind of words to say that most fathers always end up doing. And it just so it feels so real. It feels so heartfelt, and you know exactly what he's trying to portray, but he can't get the words out.
Yeah.
And then it's completely opposite. You've got the very articulated Marlon
Oh, yeah,
Brando,
Jor-El, yeah. He knows
Jor-El,
exactly what
he
he wants.
knows
Yeah.
exactly what he should say,
But he's
how
wrong.
he's saying, but he's wrong about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then he gets, which advice is he going to follow?
Yeah.
So,
We're not going to tell you because
no, you're going to have to watch it.
you have to watch the film. And I can't be asked living up to spoiler code.
And if you can't remember it, you're going to watch it again and go,
Yeah.
yeah, I see what the man talking
Yeah.
about now.
Again, I think that's another reason why Donner holds, as a director, he kind of holds it all together because he takes, this is kid stuff, this is
Yeah.
pulp, this is whatever,
Hmm.
but he takes it all not too seriously, but
Hmm.
just seriously enough.
Hmm.
Because I think earlier iterations of the film, of the script,
Yeah.
they were working on making it almost like a campy thing, like the
Yeah.
Batman TV show, almost like a comedy
Mhm.
or something. There was a draft where Superman's flying around. Legend has it there's an
Mhm.
earlier draft of the script where Superman is flying around Metropolis and he sees a bald guy on the street and he swoops down to get him because he thinks it's Les Luthor. The bald guy turns around and it's Telly Savalas with a
So,
lollipop in his mouth and says,
who
"Who loves
loves
you,
you,
baby?"
baby?
I mean, that's cute, but
It's,
I'm struggling to see Christopher Reeve saying, "I was like, no, I'm putting my
yeah.
little red boot down over this one,
Yeah.
mate." My seventh favorite thing
Hmm.
about Superman the movie
Yeah.
is Christopher Reeve,
Hmm.
his performance as Superman.
As Superman, not
As
Clark Kent.
Superman,
But we're getting on
maybe
to
that's
it.
another thing.
We're getting
Maybe
on to
that's
Clark.
another
Oh,
thing.
okay then.
Maybe that's my eighth favorite thing,
Oh, okay. All
or
right.
ninth, or
Mm.
10th. Although I'll probably put them next to each other.
Okay.
We'll find out soon. Keep
Mm.
watching. I like that he plays him because the thing about Superman is
Mm.
he is able to keep track of his notes, unlike me. He has like enormous physical power. He's the
Oh,
most physically powerful
huge.
character in all of literature. I think he's
Yeah.
probably
Mm.
with the possible exception of God. He could destroy us all on a whim.
Hmm.
He could enslave us. He could do anything he likes to us.
Yeah.
But he uses that power
Hmm.
to help people,
Yes.
to save people from
Hmm.
mortal danger, to save cats from trees.
I was just about to
No
mention
job too
cats.
small.
No,
No job too
exactly.
small. No
Yeah.
job too big.
Yeah.
They're all jobs for Superman.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, a lot of people, Zack Snyder, for example,
Hmm.
seem to think that superheroes should just be running around punching each other as hard as they can.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree because for me, I don't really think of Superman among all the superheroes. I think some of them are about fighting. You know,
Mm.
like among other things, they're not just about fighting, but Batman fights people, Spider-Man fights people, Wolverine fights people.
Mm.
And they do other things as well. Don't get
Mm.
me wrong, but Superman, if Superman punched you, you turn to dust.
Yeah.
You turn to just nothing.
Mm.
So because nobody is as strong as him. The whole point of the character for me
Mm.
is that he's physically all powerful. So how do we make that interesting? And how do you make that not just come off as, because I think what Christopher Reeve does,
Mm.
and it's in the script and it's in the direction as well, of course.
Yeah.
But I think what Christopher Reeve does is he sort of Superman can come off as stiff or awkward or cheesy or sort of
Mm.
patronizing or whatever. Um, but I think the way that he plays him, he gives him this touch of he gives him real humanity.
Yes.
Ironically, considering he's playing an alien,
Yeah.
and he gives him like I mean, even just little things like I noticed this time, he
Mm.
gives him a sort of when he's Superman, he gives him a sort of sly sense of humor. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. Like, for example,
Yeah.
like he's getting off on being Superman a little bit. I'll give an
Mm.
example just quickly.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
After the helicopter scene, which we'll talk about in
Yes.
a minute,
Yeah. Yeah.
at the end when he's put
Mm.
Lois back on the building on top of,
Mm.
on the rooftop, and he's sort of like he says something like, statistically, of course, it's still the safest way to travel, and she's all like, huh,
Yeah.
huh, like that.
Yeah.
The camera is kind of over here, and you see him turn away from her towards the camera, and he's got this little cheeky smile on his face,
Mm. Yeah.
like he's sort of enjoying it. It's sort of like
Yeah. Well, of
he's sort
course.
of, he likes making because everyone who sees him in the movie, all they do is look at him like this.
Well,
I
again,
spent the whole movie looking awestruck. You know?
well, it's the first time I've ever seen a
Yeah, of
superhero.
course.
It's the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time I've seen someone fly, and I know what you mean because I mean, you take the scene with the robbers on the boat where he's just
Yes.
standing
He's
back up
standing
on the
on.
boat. He's just going, "What do you think you're doing?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he
It's a sailor.
lets the guy come up behind him with a crowbar. He knows the exact whack. Why da 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 da. Good vibrations.
Bad vibration.
Bad vibration. Um, so he knows doesn't need to do anything.
Mm.
He's the strongest thing on the planet.
Just got to stand there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
actually, thinking about it, a
Mm,
lot of iterations of Superman do that. There's always a. I saw it in the George Reeves TV series, and I saw it in the Dean Cain TV series
mm,
40 years later.
yeah,
When people are firing bullets at Superman,
yeah.
he always just stands there like this.
Just coming in. You not learn
Yeah,
anything. Yeah,
you know who I am, right? I'm
mm,
Superman. I'm bulletproof. You're just
yeah,
wasting ammo. You
exactly.
pillock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
And I
There's
think
a little bit of that in that scene,
the
isn't there?
only other iteration, because I think, to our generation, yeah, we will prattle on about this all the time when we have in our previous
And we're
video,
doing it right now.
and we're doing it again. To our generation, we grew up with Christopher Reeve being Superman.
Yeah.
So, but if you ask most people of our generation, you just close your eyes and you just think of the character of Superman, most people, Christopher Reeve comes to mind. I'm not downplaying other iterations of Superman and Clark Kent. I think have been amazing iterations over the
Yeah, it's another
years.
good one. Yeah,
But again, I think Christopher Reeve just bring
definitive. Christopher Reeve gives Superman a sense of vulnerability as well. Which is like
exactly,
he was
yeah,
talking about in the scene earlier with Lois when
very
he
much
finds
so. Yeah.
the car, because it's like,
Mm,
he sort of gives the light. There's this assumption
mm,
among comic book fans, I think, that people say, oh, Superman, or just people generally say that Superman is boring because you
mm,
can't dramatize him because he's too powerful. But
yeah.
what they forget is, and what this film remembers,
Mm,
is that his body may be invulnerable,
yeah.
but his feelings aren't.
Well, exactly. And I think this film does a brilliant job of that, of showing, Superman's vulnerabilities than some of the other adaptations of Superman. I mean, you take the death of his father, um, and then going off to the North Pole,
Mm,
um, and get his additional teaching from his biological father. There's so much pain through that.
mm.
It's a very
He's missing
difficult.
something.
He's really missing
He's got
something,
a hole
and
that needs to be filled, isn't it? So,
you really just show his
yeah.
vulnerabilities.
When Lois
Mm.
bites the
Yeah,
mouthful of earth,
not so.
that's like,
Yeah,
oh
more so.
Christ, it's happening again. I couldn't save her either.
And
All those,
all the,
what's the line he
yeah,
says? What's the line he says? All these things I can do, all those
mm,
powers, and I
yeah,
couldn't even save him.
yeah, exactly. That roar, and it's not it,
Oh,
that roar, that scream, and
it's
then
a
as he
bit frightening, isn't it?
flies
It's kind of
out as
frightening as
well.
well. I remember as a kid
Exactly.
that scared me when he
Yeah,
screams, and I think it
exactly.
should actually.
Mm,
I think it
no.
should sort of, because I mean actually you do get that little glimpse really
Mm.
of
It's his
what
vulnerability. Oh my God, what's going to happen now?
yeah,
This man that has so much power.
yeah, what's he gonna do?